Hi, I'm Eric, and welcome to my channel. Um, I am a teacher of over 20 years, and I have a master's degree in inclusive education, um, divergent learners for some, special education, depends on where you're from. And I am a role playing gamer from way, way back in the day. I'm also neurodivergent, and I am here to talk to you today about um, playing tabletop role playing games in your classroom with your students or with your children. It is absolutely an amazing thing that you can and should do to get your kids. Well, there's so many benefits. Basically, over the course of a 20 plus year teaching career, I've noticed a lot of things. I've noticed that um, our kids have become less capable. They are not made to practice critical thinking in the same way as back when we were kids. They don't need to imagine anything anymore. Everything is generative AI, everything's on a screen. Um, Free games, uh, online mobile games are absolutely stuffed into the system such that you don't have to make play anymore. Play is always there, play is always free, and you can get it. And so kids don't have to imagine anything anymore. And so we're losing that skill, that magic of just imaginative play. Um, and kids are just glued to a screen all the time and emotionally numb. And it's just something that we've lost. And so, and everything that we do is focused on competition, not collaboration. So, with it, even in the way we talk to each other, and kids talk to each other, they talk smack. They talk in terms of, how I'm going to do better than you, or whatever. And that's in video games, and that's in the playground, and that's in the sports field or court or rink or whatever. And it's sad that there's something that we've lost over time, and I want to tell you about my experiences that I've had with bringing tabletop role playing games into the classroom. It's been absolutely amazing. I tried with a rules heavier system before, and I wasn't as successful because rules heavy systems mean that there's a high bar for entry into the game. And I don't really like that. I want to have tabletop gaming accessible to everyone. And so, what I've found is a wonderful game that is really agile for a classroom. And I want to talk to you about it. I want to tell you why I do it and how I do it in class, and even show you how to do it in class, because there are so many benefits that I want to talk about. Um, it's hard really to get started. The game is called Dread. Um, Unlike a weightier system for rules, Dread is very simple. Unlike most tabletop games, it does not use dice. It uses only a Jenga tower. And the upshot is that when you drop the Jenga tower, your character dies. No hit points, no saving throws, no second chances. We narrate your character's death right in the story, and then we rebuild the tower and we keep going. Because one death is not the end of a horror story. By the way, it's suspense horror. I'm playing it in classrooms as young as grade 5 and 6, and they are loving it. Um, it's sanitized, it's no worse than a PG-13 movie, and it's all oral storytelling. So it's really easy to get to a place where you're telling really good stories, even kind of frightening stories, without crossing any lines or boundaries that you would want to keep on the right side of in a classroom. And I'll tell you some of the stories that I have done in classes and how it's been really good, and stories that I've tweaked and made better. But it's such amazing stuff, and the kids love it. They get really excited when I come in and say, "Let's do a ghost story, but we can all tell the story together." Um, it's amazing. they fall right into it. Um, apart from the fact that it's got such a simple game mechanic, um, what a few things that Dread does really well. We agree to not die here together, so collaboration is great. Unlike other games, you can't die unless you are the one responsible for knocking down the tower, the Jenga tower. And as a result, there's no character on character damage ever, because basically the other party has to agree to, take on this challenge or what have you. So I love the collaborative aspect of it, the fact that they can't do anyone dirt in the game, and we all sort of agree to just let's agree to survive this encounter together as a team. Um, Another thing is that it actually makes kids feel something. They're used to watching movies, but they're not used to also feeling the emotions that go along with it, if that makes sense. With the Jenga tower in the room, as we're playing, telling the story, and using a Jenga tower, it really cements the tension in the room because there are stakes involved. And when you walk up to the tower, intent on succeeding in an action, and you could possibly drop this tower. It's a real tense moment, and kids really are into it. They're into this kind of feeling the story, in addition to just hearing it and experiencing it kind of one way. So it does really make kids kind of feel something along with just the oral storytelling. Um, Kids get to use critical thinking, something that they don't often do. Basically, it's kind of my wits against a bunch of students, and how are we going to outsmart the scenario, or how are we going to outwit the enemies that we're facing, and things like that. It's it's neat. It's really cool, and some of them have some great ideas. You know what? Sometimes a game doesn't work, but sometimes they come up with some great ideas, and it's really neat to watch them kind of come up with things on the spot sometimes. In addition to that, kids also get to see sort of consequences gamed out in a safe way. Try something out and it doesn't work, and then the storyteller kind of says, "Okay, well, this is what happened as a result." Um, which and it seems simple, but I did a game today, and it was a group of grade 5 kids, and it seemed like a challenge for them uh, to think of ideas to do in the scenario. And so it's, they need some of this practice at imagining, if that makes sense. Um, and all kids that I do this with, they become more interested in storytelling. Several of them tell me how they want to start writing their own stories as a result. Some of them have even decided to play Dread or other role playing games on their own with their friends, as a result of our role playing games in class. So that's really great. Um, they get to understand more about storytelling in general, how characters and character detail are important to storytelling, what tension is all about, and how to create more tension in the story. Even things like why good vocabulary, and description matters. Um, and I'll show you all how I do it, how I organize it. I trick them a lot of the time, and sometimes I'm very straight up with them and saying, this is going to still be an English class, but it's going to be really fun. I want to bring you all through it. I want to bring you through the successes that I've had. Um, I want to tell you about kids that don't often get kudos in classrooms. Like we're really good, for instance, at celebrating sporty kids, but sometimes we miss some of the other kids that we don't normally get to see shine. There are kids that I had a kid this week that the teacher said to me afterward, she never says a word in class, right? And I didn't know that, because I couldn't know that, because she had been absolutely amazing during the game, making choices, making gutsy moves, playing as the character. And it's really neat to watch that happen. Um, it really builds positive relationships in classes. Um, a really big boost with teacher and student relationships because they get to watch you in a different context as teachers. I'm saying this as teachers, but as parents too. Like if you landed on this page because you want to introduce your kids to role playing, giddy up. I love it. But I'm kind of coming from this mostly from the context of a teacher. Um, it's also really something to watch a bunch of kids just spontaneously jump up in the air and cheer for a kid who just made an impossible pull on a tower that had to fall. And then suddenly they succeed in a clutch moment in the game, and everyone erupts in cheers and applause. And it's amazing to watch that. And those moments you can't really artificially craft in classrooms. Like they just happen. Well, I've got some of the magic that I want to bring to you. And so I'd like for you to keep watching this channel. I'm going to tell you all about it. I'm going to walk you through how I do it. And we're even going to get to a point where I'm going to have some stories to share with teachers or parents that want to run their own games. And well, anyway, stay tuned to this channel. Thanks very much, and I hope to see you again soon. Bye for now.